And hello to all the nobody watching live. Uh, so this is Hint Play's first go at The Dark Eye, a Germany's premier fantasy role-playing game, apparently. So I am told by the publishers of The Dark Eye, who may be biased. Now, I know it has been around for a very long time and is certainly, from all I can gather, pretty big in Germany.
Mm.
This is the second edition that has had an English language release, as far as I am aware. I believe that FanPro did an English language for the fourth edition. I don't think any edition before that had. Ulysses Spiel, who now have it, have a North American branch, Ulysses North America, very originally named. And they're responsible for Torg Eternity and for the English language Dark Eye. This, by the way, this is the cool little, very handy, useful, not taking up too much desk space pocket edition. I also have the lovely, lovely, lovely quality hardback over on the shelf over there. Because I've backed everything they've done for this so far on Kickstarter, and I'm finally getting to play it now, quite some way.
Who's a chuffed little fishy then?
Yeah, it's taken us long enough. So, I must ask you to forgive us for all of the many mistakes we are bound to make. This is our first time playing this game system, it's our first time playing this setting, and obviously because of that it's our first time playing this character. So, although experienced gamers, we have no clue what we're doing with this one.
No.
So, please don't hurt us. So, it's set in the world of Aventuria. Let me scroll that back out a bit. Here is the main continent of Aventuria, on the world of Dera, if I remember rightly. This is obviously a region map showing the various chunks that you can play with. The important part to us is right here in the middle, the Midden Realm, or the Mittelreich. That is where we are going to be playing.
Okay.
That is, in many respects, it's the core setting, as far as I can tell, for Aventuria and the Dark Eye. The Dark Eye setting is right on the cusp between the Middle Ages and Renaissance. So, like most fantasy RPGs, it's got those Renaissance elements of people with rapiers and so forth. Unlike most fantasy RPGs, they are in the right place. There are specific locations here where people fight with rapiers instead of longswords. The Midden Realm is not one of those locations. It's not like D&D, where you've mysteriously got people using about 150 years worth of weapon development all in the same small town. So, the Midden Realm, as you can see, is quite a large area, bordered to the north by the Orcs. Not a good place to go if you want to continue living. Also bordered to the northwest by the Warring Kingdoms. If anybody has played the Chains of Satanav point-and-click game from Daedalic Entertainment, they may be familiar with the easternmost of those two kingdoms, Andergast, which is the capital of which, Andergast, is where you start in that game. And you head north, in fact, into the Orc territory temporarily in that, and move to a couple of other places.
Okay.
So that's set in this setting. The Warring Kingdoms are called that because Andergast and Nostria are constantly at war. That never really featured in Chains of Satanav, but that is the case. The sequel to that, Memoria, also the second character at a different point in time of that was a princess, as I recall, from the land of the Tulamids, down here to the south of the Midden Realm. That's a more sort of Arabic-y type place. Genies and Aladdin would probably fit in there quite well. Drutt, your character speaks Tulamidian in addition to Midden Realmer. They are neighbours, so this is not an unreasonable thing at all. Over here in the east of the Midden Realm, we have the Shadowlands. The Shadowlands were once not shadowy, and now are. And I'm not going to go into the details of all that now, because that involves me digging into books and stuff like that. Suffice it to say, bad shit happened there. That's, I think, as much as we need to know right now.
Yeah.
Bad shit happening is kind of a theme, though, in most fantasy realms, and Aventuria is no exception. So, going to this next map, let's sync the view again to be sure Drutt's looking at the right thing. I don't know whether that will actually bring the Middle Realm section map up to the foreground, or whether it will just sync your view on that.
I'm looking at the words Broad Meadow. Apparently,
scratched viciously into the map.
I was going to say corn circled into the map.
Yeah. And I think it's just coincidence, but doesn't it look like there's a smiley face in the O on Meadow? Yeah.
Yes, it does. It really does.
I don't know.
Hey, Chrono.
Quite what that's all about. Good afternoon, Chrono. So this is
I wish you hadn't said that, though.
A map of a portion of the Middle Realm.
Yep.
The Mittelreich. Down here in the southeast, we have got the capital city of Gareth, which is where we will be starting.
Mm-hmm.
And on the subject, again, of bad shit happening, a long time ago, about 1,000 years, if I remember rightly, there was a big old demonic war going on in this area, and as a result, just outside, and in some places, in fact, encroaching into the outskirts of the city of Gareth, is the Demon Fallows. This is an area that is now avoided by pretty much everybody as being spooky, and creatures of the Nether Hells might well be found there, and it's generally not a very good place. So, naturally, being a player character, that's exactly where your character has been. So would you like to introduce us to your character before we go any further?
Yes. As of yesterday, she was only created yesterday. She's a whole day old. Yayla is a native of Gareth. She's 17 years old. And the best description of her is probably opinionated. She's a mage of the White Order, which I haven't really dug too hard into the different orders, but that was the one that kind of leapt out at me. She is a battle mage from the Gareth Academy of Sword and Staff. So basically she's geared to twatting you over the head with the staff, occasionally running you through with the sword. She's also got a personal preference towards elementalism, which I'm going to hopefully develop, assuming she doesn't die in her first outing. Which is not a given.
It's a big assumption.
And she basically, if she can't vap you, smack you, or stab you, she will argue all the legs off a donkey. And basically take you down from there.
And then persuade it to go for a walk afterwards.
And then persuade it to go for a walk afterwards, yes. She has the personality flaw of feistiness. I mean, really, how could I not?
Translates as argumentative.
Yes. So I thought, go with what you know. It's a new game. I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'll just play someone who is very much like me. So she's a stroppy kid. Right,
so Yayla has been on a brief expedition. It's not an overnight expedition because that's kind of dangerous. But she has been on an expedition into the very edges of the Demon Fallows today. She has been searching and investigating this supernaturally cursed land, because being a mage of the Guild of Sword and Staff, they're not particularly very book learning heavy. They're great believers in their research where they do it being practical. So rather than read about the Demon Fallows, she's gone to have a look at it.
She also does have a personal interest in history, but as you say, it's very much of the time team get in there.
Yeah.
And poke it with a stick and see what happens.
You're doing the same thing we were doing in Imperion last night, aren't you? It's dig a big hole, ignore everything that isn't gold or mummies.
Yes, exactly. And if you don't put golden mummies into this in some way, shape, or form,
we need golden mummies in something, definitely. Yeah. So, you've spent the day poking around on the outskirts of the Demon Fellows, avoiding anything that looked or sounded like it was bigger than you, and generally reveling in the spooky atmosphere and sort of vague traces of magic that still exist within the Demon Fellows. You've probably had an enlightening day. You've certainly had an enjoyable day, but you have no intention of staying in the Demon Fellows after dark.
No.
So,
It's
what
fine
this
for a
means
picnic, but I'm not camping.
is that as twilight is approaching, you have turned around and headed back into Gareth proper.
Okay.
Although you turned back in good time, between the forests of the Demon Fellows and the buildings of Gareth itself, it's darker than it really ought to be. The sun hasn't yet dipped below the horizon, but from where you are, you can't see it anymore, and there are a lot of shadows. As a result, as you walk along the street heading in towards the centre of town, where I'm assuming the academy probably is, but I don't have a key to this map, and the map is in German anyway.
Yes, we need German speakers in chat. Where's Mickey when you need him?
Well, there's very little written on this anyway, because I don't have the key to this map, as I said. This is taken from a source book that hasn't been translated, which I don't own. I've only just got the map off the internet.
Okay.
So as you are walking up, because of the long shadows being cast by the dying day, you can hear, long before you see...
Excuse me.
Some sort of disturbance in the street up ahead. You can hear a steady, rhythmic thwacking noise. And as you approach, a large shadow in the street ahead of you resolves itself into a cart, tipped over onto its side.
Right.
Just after that becomes apparent, your eyes pick out two figures. One is lying on the ground, curled up, and the other, standing over it, is producing the thwacking noise by repeatedly kicking the fallen figure. What are you doing?
I am unlimbering my staff. Is it reasonable to assume that a carrying strap on the staff is a valid thing?
Yeah.
Because they are for traveller staff. As long as that's not going to bugger up the magical capabilities.
No, that's fine.
Excellent.
It's probably just a leather strap with a couple of loops on it that you can remove completely from the staff when not actually wanting to carry it that way.
So yes, I will unsling my staff, because unless you're actually using it as a walking stick, it's a bit of a pain. And call out to the aggressive figure. I don't know what the disturbance is, but leave him alone.
The figure obviously looks in your direction, and after
How many
a moment,
teeth are we dealing here?
you can't really see it that clearly yet. You're still not that close, but just looks towards you, and the shadowy form yells back, "Fuck off!"
Oh, we're not having that. I don't like kicking fights. I am marching into closer proximity, let's say.
Okay, as you march towards the
where
figure,
are my
it
spells?
steps away from the figure on the ground.
Yeah.
And as you get closer, you can see that it's a fairly common, rough-looking individual. Roughly average height, roughly average build, dressed like a peasant. Definitely not someone with any kind of money at all. It looks like a common street thug, to be honest.
Yeah. What?
And as you approach, he is simply squaring off as if intending to throw his next punch at you.
Oh. I am going to hold my staff in an aggressive guard.
Mm-hmm.
Which you've seen me with the staff. You know roughly
Yes,
what I'm
but this
talking
isn't
about.
you. This is Yella.
No, but she knows what she's doing. She actually has the appropriate
She
skills.
has the appropriate combat technique. Yes.
Yes. So yes, you don't want to do this. I've had
Are
a
you
very long day.
are you perchance intending this as intimidation?
Intimidation? Why not?
That's what I thought. So let's actually not use the rules for social conflicts in the compendium, because let's not start straight away with
I have no
optional
points in
tier 1 focus
intimidation.
rules.
Excellent. I've got no points
You
in
have no
intimidation
points
at all.
in intimidation. Right, okay, well done you. Let's
I also managed to not take fast talk, which I'm a bit worried about. We may be rejigging this.
You feel that your character concept may have fallen slightly by the wayside during the actual character creation, do you?
Yeah, this is what happens when I'm spending my last 30 points and just going spells, magic.
Yeah. Right, okay, intimidation. Now, what I'm not sure is how you intimidate without actually having the skill. I mean, I'm assuming you can. Intimidation is not a thing that you actually would need specific knowledge of to be able to do it. So I'm assuming that you can use this as at a default level. I'm just checking how such things work in this game. Hero may try to use a skill, even if it is one with which they have little experience. Mundane skills that are not improved during character creation are nevertheless active and have a skill rating of 0. So, well, intimidation, without checking to see what they class as mundane skills, intimidation certainly is going to be a mundane skill.
Yep.
So, yes, right. Skill checks. This system uses an interesting 3-die system for skill checks. So you are rolling 3 attribute checks for this.
Okay.
The first one is against courage, the second against intuition, and the third against charisma.
Okay. Courage, intuition, charisma. So I've got 3 different colour D20s. Okay. Am I aiming low or high?
You're aiming to roll equal to or less than your appropriate attribute on each of these.
Okay.
20s and 1s are
Crits and fumbles.
specific things. They are indeed. Yeah. You can crit and you can botch.
Just looking for my stats, actually. Oh, there we are. Right, okay. Oh, they're at the top of each page. I like that.
Yes, the character sheets on this game put the stats on every page so that you always have
So, the first one's courage, yeah?
First one is courage.
Right, so I actually equaled that. So, the next one's intuition.
Hang on then.
Which I failed.
Okay.
And charisma, I got a 1.
Okay. I don't know whether that 1 is going to do you any good since you failed the middle check. Let me recheck these rules. Let's see. Critical successes. Critical success rules are intriguing, it's got to be said. You get a different critical based on how many 1s you roll.
Okay.
Right, a skill check achieves a critical success only if you roll 1s on at least 2 of the 3 die rolls. So unfortunately, a single 1 isn't going to help you.
Right,
It's a bit of a shame because a double 1 would have overridden the failure on the 3rd die.
Ah, okay.
However, it's not very common. 1 in 140 for a double 1.
Right.
So, this means that you have failed your skill check.
Mm-hmm. This is a good start to any new game. We like this.
If you'd had a rank in the skill, then your skill points could have been used to modify that middle die roll, and if you had enough ranks, still make it.
Okay.
That's the way the game system works.
Right.
However, since you don't have any at the moment, you're rolling on straight dice, and obviously those dice have failed for you.
They have, yes. They're new dice. They've yet to be trained.
Ah, is that what the problem is?
Yes, I'm also adjusting my character on the fly and can export the PDF straight to you.
Cool.
In a mo. I like this character creation program. Optilith is rather good.
Yes, particularly since it's a fan-made program. Definitely something that, although I downloaded it for free, it's a pay-what-you-want on drive-through. I will be throwing some money.
That's brilliant.
I will be throwing some money at the developer.
Yeah, I think I actually paid. I don't think I paid much, but I did actually do a pay for it on Pay What You Want.
Yeah, I didn't, but that was at the time we weren't actually playing the game yet, and I wanted to see whether it was any good. So I will be going back and doing so. Look, Missy, you don't want to get involved here, right? Just piss off back where you came from.
Can I just check? Would you say arrogance was an appropriate character trait for this person so far?
Well, I think so far that does seem to be in keeping with what we know about her.
Right, that's going
Plus,
in.
if you're also feisty, so if he's told you don't want to be doing this, then you almost certainly do want to be doing this.
Absolutely, thank you. Oh God. Right. What is it called?
What are you looking for?
So, no, so I'd already put something in, and you can't have it twice. That's cool. So that's not a problem. Right. I decide what I'm interested in, and I decide where I'm going. I'm going this way. You're going away.
Right. In response to that, since you failed to intimidate him in the first place,
Yeah, I know.
he takes a solid step towards you, raising a fist menacingly,
Right.
and not really bellowing because he doesn't want to attract too much attention. Still, even in this dodgy area of town, but in a raised voice, he just sort of half shouts, "Get lost!" which I am counting as an intimidation attempt on his part.
Right. Okie dokie.
Now, he does have the intimidation skill.
Oh, shit. Of course it does.
So, do me a favour. Tell me what the three colours are for this. It was courage, intuition, and charisma. Because I'm using the
green, and black.
Right.
Because you've got the proper dice.
I had forgotten this minor flaw in these dice. Which of those do we think is a red die?
The right-hand side one.
Unless I'm rolling both of them, it doesn't really matter, does it? So
Yeah.
we'll call that a red die. That's a green die, and the black die presumably was charisma. I assume you read them out in the order that they were.
I did, yes.
Right. Now, so with this optional rule, with the appropriate coloured dice, I can roll them all at once, and then just read each one with the colour for that attribute, which is a little bit, seems a little bit cack-handed, but it saves rolling the dice individually. The other way of doing it, which I'm not sure whether that's what Drutt was doing, is just to have three coloured dice that you have designated as first, second, and third, and always roll them in the same order. And hello, Neo, by the way.
Yes, indeed. Hello, Neo.
So, his first roll against courage immediately rolls a nat 20. But remembering this is a bad thing in this game system.
Right.
So unless he gets a double one, he's not going to intimidate you here. So his intuition check is bang on, and he makes his charisma check. But unfortunately, having failed on rolled a nat 20, I'm pretty certain that again, as with the criticals, that's not going to be a botch. I think again you need to roll two 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, you can botch a skill check by rolling a double 20.
I know I can rely on your dice.
So he didn't manage to botch it. It's actually really difficult to botch a skill check in this game, which I quite like because
Yeah.
I've always felt that a 5% chance of things going utterly horribly wrong every time you do something is a little bit off. I mean, if you think about a normal person thinks about the job that they do, and there's probably something that they do over and over again all day long. If 1 in 20 of them was a horrible failure, then they'd probably fail horribly 4 or 5 times a day on an average job.
Yeah.
And no doubt.
Fish. I have just updated my PDF character sheet
Righto.
on the fly. I have not touched intimidation because I've rolled that and that didn't work. She does now, however, have fast talk and persuasion,
Cool.
which fits with the character concept.
Under the circumstances, I shall reopen your character sheet because
Yep.
obviously the version that I had open is not the updated version.
Yep. And I have added to her disadvantages, because I was well under on disadvantages, hairbound power. A portion of her magical ability is tied to her hair.
Oh my god, she's a magic Samson.
She is.
That's brilliant. I love it.
Yes, and personality flaw, arrogance.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's arrogant and feisty, and do not touch her hair.
Oh, marvellous.
I'm really liking this woman so far. She is awesome.
Updated yet, so let me let Dropbox do its thing before I reopen that character.
Yeah, it's only a PDF, but yeah.
Yeah. Right. Meanwhile, he has utterly failed to intimidate you, so I don't get to give you anything like, say, a level of the fear condition. So under the circumstances, he has stepped towards you in a threatening manner. I think now would be an excellent time to investigate how this game does initiative.
Yep.
So, jumping to the combat rules.
Yay!
Which, for reasons best known to someone who is not me, I'm not doing in the PDF that is bookmarked and really easy to find everything in.
I'm just trying to work out why I haven't got my
sense.
copy of the PDF rulebook open. Because I'm an idiot, basically. And to the Nazmobile.
Right. At the very least, the PDF bookmarks will tell me what page I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Combat, Chapter 9, page 225. Oh, I was almost in the right place. If I'd just flicked a few more pages, I'd have found it. Right, initiative. You use initiative to determine the order in which combatants can act. No shit, Sherlock. Sorry, that was mean, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was, yes.
Yeah. Initiative is your initiative-based stat plus a d6, plus or minus any modifiers that may be applied. So, on your character sheet, you will have an initiative.
Okay.
I have not yet got the d6
somewhere.
because I'm a fool.
Where's my initiative? Where is my... Oh, 11. Charisma, courage and agility divided by 2.
That sounds right. I've got an initiative for this guy because it's on the stats that I borrowed from a pre-written scenario.
Okay, fair enough.
I slightly tweaked a character from a pre-written scenario in order to get myself a street thug. I thought it seemed to make sense to me.
Fair play.
Yeah, so, yes, d6 plus initiative.
Okay. Did you roll a 1?
Your initiative, yes, of course I did. Your initiative is?
12. So did I.
Oh, okay. He's actually got a better initiative than you. So,
I'm going to get my ass kicked by
as you fail to respond to his yell, he continues his movement forward, takes in another step, and swings a ham-like fist towards your head.
Nice.
So, actions in combat. Let me just grab the useful little cards.
Okay.
So, where's my little useful... Examples of actions. Useful little card here. So, actions could be attack, ranged attack, move up to your movement stat in yards, try to kick in a door, draw a weapon, pull a lever, load a missile weapon, cast a spell, cast a liturgical chant. There are also parry and dodge defences, and there are free actions such as shouting a short sentence, dropping an item, standing up from a chair, dropping to the ground, turning around. move up to your movement stat in yards, but only if it's your turn in the initiative order.
Okay.
That's interesting. So I'm guessing that move is basically an action that can be combined with other things, since it features as a free action and also features as an action. So
Yeah.
I think if you're doing another action, you can choose to move at the same time.
Right. I am
Right.
choosing to indulge myself in the parry option.
Ooh, you're going to try and parry his arm with your stick because you're mean and you don't like him very much.
Why would I not want him to break his arm on my stick?
Yeah, that makes
Besides,
sense to me.
I'm being nice because if I was being nasty, I've got 9 skill ranks in flame.
Right, so this is close combat. The attack distance on this is going to be... This is going to count as short.
Okay.
Because he's obviously, without a weapon, his range is short. And
Yeah.
it's his action, so he's going to move in, he's going to close to that range.
Okay.
He doesn't want to be swinging wildly at someone who he can't actually reach.
Right.
So, I'm therefore going to slightly bend what's written here. Short weapons gain suffer no penalties on attack and defense in cramped spaces, but when fighting against a medium reach weapon, they suffer a penalty. Because he's beaten your initiative, and I'm letting him step in. I'm not going to give him that penalty because he's stepping inside your attack, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
So, really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this as if it were cramped conditions until you can take a step backwards and re-establish the range.
I've got a medium
make sense to you?
staff. Do I suffer a penalty, therefore?
So, yeah, in cramped spaces, you will be suffering a penalty.
Right.
So, at short range, you will have a -2 to your attacks.
Right.
I don't know if that affects parries as well. I mean, it should do, but
Shut
the
up.
book says -2 attack, not -2 attack and parry.
Attack and defense. Yes.
So I will treat it as -2 only to attack for the moment.
Okay.
Right, did the program calculate your attack and parry with the weapon?
Well, there's an interesting question. Hang on. Yes.
Yes, it did. Excellent.
Attack parry modifier 0 or -1, depending on how you want to do it.
Hang on, let me...
It's on page 3.
Dropbox should have updated now, so
yeah,
I can reopen the character sheet and have a look. So, combat techniques and weapons. Mage's staff, medium. Right, yeah, that's the attack parry modifier for the weapon itself. It's not your actual attack and parry. Later on, not the last column, which is weight, but the two before that are your actual attack and parry scores. You're really shit at parrying. Why are you so crap at parrying? I suppose it does have a minus. It does have a -1 parry modifier, I suppose.
That's a 2 parry. That's poxy.
Yeah. So I would recommend not parrying.
Yeah.
It's just that's my suggestion.
Right.
Oh, hang on. I see why you're not actually trained to fight with a mage's staff, according to this.
Sorry? Bloody am, you know.
Yeah, let me double check. This seems a bit weird that you're trained to fight with polearms, which I had assumed would be because that's what the staff would use.
Yeah.
Maybe the mage's staff is not counted the same as a quarterstaff, and therefore it doesn't count as a polearm. But that doesn't make sense because you're a mage, and that's why you've learnt to fight with a staff.
Yeah.
So, let's look for mage's staff in the core rulebook.
Okay.
I did say at the beginning of the stream, before anybody was here, apologies for the fact that this is the first time we've ever played this game. We have no clue what we're doing. It's very much a learning experience. That's what this session 0 is all about. It's to figure the game out.
Very much so.
That did not find. Let's try it with an apostrophe. Okay, that found it, but not for combat purposes. So far, the only thing I've found about the Mage's Staff is for the enchantment and its properties according. Mage's
You don't
Staff.
think it's down as a two-handed impact weapon, do you?
Right, hang on. I've now managed to find. Right, okay. Yeah, I may make a small modification. Right, gotcha. You've got the wrong Mage's Staff.
Oh, have I?
Yes, what you want is a Mage's Staff long, not a Mage's Staff medium. Short and medium are impact weapons. Long is a polearm. So we will assume you have a long version.
Right.
And we'll just
okay,
take it
I can adjust that. That's not a problem.
So yeah, in that case, you instead of having a -1 parry modifier.
Yeah.
Because this is a big long stick that is ideal for blocking people with, as anyone who has ever played Robin Hood with a broomstick will know. You in fact have a -1 on your attack, but a +2 on your parry.
Okay, that's looking a little bit happier.
And they're also based on different numbers to the ones that those numbers are taken from. So what you're looking at is your polearms skill, your combat technique rating. There, you will see you've got an 11 attack and a 6 parry for polearms.
Right.
That's in the combat techniques chart, just above.
So 8 parry then.
So with the modifiers, that's giving you a 10 attack and an 8 parry. Yeah.
Right.
Right. Glad we could sort that out, because otherwise that was going to really worry me.
Mess up my day.
I like the fact that you have 3 versions of the Mage's Staff. You've got a short one, a medium one, and you've got a full-on quarterstaff for beating people around the head with, which is obviously what the Gareth mages are going to be using. Kind of nice that you can. Not all mages have the same stick. I like that.
Yeah, I am updating the character sheet then. With the appropriate weaponry. That makes sense.
So I'll close your character sheet because I'm going to want to.
Yeah, because that's going to change in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he's got no penalty to his attack until you step backwards. So he's just rolling a d10, a d20 even, against his attack.
Right.
And his attack, where did he go? There did he go? Let's bring him back in front of the map so I can see him. He has got an attack unarmed of 14. And with that roll he is hitting. So would you care to make your parry roll?
Right, so my parry roll is actually made on...
Yes, if you know what's good for you, you won't want to get hit with sharp objects, or indeed fists.
Yeah.
For defense, competence can parry or dodge. Each type of defense has its advantages and disadvantages. A hero can try to prevent taking damage from a hit in close combat by parrying the attack. To do so, make a check with 1d20 against your parry stat. If the result is lower than or equal to your parry, you divert the blow and take no damage.
Okay, so I've got the 10 on my parry that we've worked out.
Yeah. The way this works, you can only use one defense against a single attack, so you can't go, oh no, I failed to parry it, I'll dodge. And if you use more than one defense in a round, each subsequent defense gets harder. So if you've got 2 people trying to punch you, you block the first one easily, the second one gets trickier.
Right. Also helps if you're saving a PDF that you don't save over the PDF that's open, because it argues and has a nervous breakdown.
Yes, it does.
However, the PDF should be updating in a mo. Nine.
Okay, successful parry.
Whoop, whoop.
So
set my dice cam up.
Let's see how this works. Oh, that's interesting. Note that only characters with fate points can make more than one defense per round.
Oh, okay, that's worth knowing.
So basically, grunt level PCs can only defend grunt level NPCs can only defend once per round. So if you gang up on them, they're toast. Higher level NPCs who've been given fate points like the player characters have, they get to make multiple attacks at penalties, multiple defenses at penalties if they want to. So that's quite nice. As a rule, I usually don't much like treating different levels of character differently in games. But some games it works, some games it doesn't. My preference is to treat everybody evenly and just vary skill levels and so forth. But if the game is built around it, I'm okay with the idea that grunt level NPCs don't work the same as higher level NPCs.
Okay.
Right. What I'm just checking is whether there are... I'm assuming that the defense effectively overrides the attack, because he successfully attacked, you successfully defended. I'm assuming that means that he has you've parried him. And what I am going to do, because you have parried his unarmed attack with a weapon,
right?
I'm sure there's a rule for that, but I'm not going to look it up right now.
Okay.
Unless it's right here in front of me in brawling, which it might be. Unarmed combatants who parry a weapon still suffer full damage even if the parry is successful. On the other hand, if you use a weapon to parry a brawling attack, the attacker suffers half the weapon's damage. Okay, so there you go. It was there. I didn't have to go looking for it. It was actually only on the next page. So that means that, yeah, if you would like to roll weapon damage for your lovely stick,
okay,
which we know is a damage of 1d6 plus 2.
Okay. 7.
Okay, so half damage. I'm going to round it down because I'm mean to you. He is going to take 3 points of damage from that.
Right.
And he's going to say, ow. Because that's the sort of thing that one says when one's just punched a stick. One says, ow.
I see you, yeah.
I knew I had a notepad here. No, definitely ow.
Fair enough.
He may say something a little less polite than ow along with it, but ow will suffice for now. We've demonstrated that we are a mature stream once already at the beginning of the stream. We don't need to do it again mid-fight.
Oopsie.
No, it was me that did it. What are you oopsieing for?
Oh, you mainly. Right, that's
I was
better.
merely getting into character.
Oh, were you? Well, that's good to know.
Right, that's not enough for him to take a level of pain yet, but as far as I'm concerned, it still hurts, so he's still saying ow.
Works for me.
Yeah. Again, this should be on your character sheet, hopefully. Let's see whether the character sheet is updated so I can open it and look for it myself. Your life points, which are hit points for this game.
Yeah.
No, not there. Is it on a different page? Because you've got a combat page, haven't you, basically? So,
Has she updated?
Combat. Yeah, there we go. On page 3, next to the combat techniques, you've got a life point thing which shows you the levels at which you start taking pain because you've lost life points. So when you hit 22 life points in your case, you take a level of pain.
Okay.
And then again at 15, at 7, and at 5. At 5,
Hero is dying. Sorry.
Unless something has reduced a level of pain, or you have an ability to ignore levels of pain, by the time you hit 4 levels of pain, which is the maximum, that incapacitates you.
Ah, okay.
So if you are taken to 5 or less hit points without going to 0, then you will be incapacitated without being killed. That is how this system handles the idea that not everybody dies in a fight. You can be incapacitated through pain and damage without dying that way.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you're on 6 and then you take 7 damage, you're going straight to being dead. Thank you very much.
No problem. Right, you should have access now to the fully updated version of the character sheet.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, this
With
has
the
made
correct...
his staff long, so this is
Yeah.
looking right. And yeah, that's showing you 10 attack, 8 parry, as we have worked out it should be. Lovely. Everybody's happy.
Yep.
So, that was his initiative.
Right.
What's your initiative?
That's an interesting question. Scrolling back up. 12.
Well,
My
no, I mean, what are you
initiative.
doing on your initiative?
I know.
You...
I am going to, hopefully end this fine, I'm going to hit him with my staff. Specifically, having parried that way, I'm going to carry the motion over and hit straight down with the back end.
Okay, now remember that because you are in close combat at this point, you are -2 to hit.
Right, no problem.
Since moving up to your movement stat in yards, but only if it's your turn in the initiative order, is available as a free action, I'm going to say if you want to, you can step
I take
back
a couple
to
of paces?
establish range. But since that's a part of your attack, I'm not going to let it remove the penalty. It's not going to be step back and hit. That would be using your action to move and then your next action to attack. Instead, you're attacking and stepping back as you do so. So you're still at -2, but then you'll have corrected the distance, shall we say. So, roll to hit. So he's not going to try and parry this because he got hurt when his fist interacted with your stick last time. So he's going to try and dodge this instead.
Yeah. So this is going to be an attack of...
You've normally got 10, so you're going to be at 8 because of the -2 for this range, yeah.
Right, okay. So that's a 2.
Okay, so he will make a roll against his not impressive dodge of 7. However, he will crit on his roll against his not impressive dodge of 7.
Damn!
Yeah, critical success.
Is this going to send him skittering back anyway?
Combat checks can result in critical success. This goes for defense checks too. If you roll a 1 for defense, you must make a confirmation roll. So, like 3rd edition, he's got to roll again. If this is 7 or less, he has critted. If not, it's just a dodge. Just a normal dodge.
Okay.
So you swing your stick at him, and he jumps backwards, aiding you, really, in your stepping to establish range. And the stick sort of whooshes past just in front of his face, but doesn't actually hit him. He doesn't look happy with you.
Oh, my heart bleeds.
He doesn't look happy with you at all.
Diddums.
And unlike you, he has combat special abilities.
Shit.
So, initiative, shall we roll again?
I don't have combat special abilities. I don't think I have
you don't. You
special
have magic
abilities.
instead.
I have magic instead, indeed.
Right, your initiative in this round, he's going to beat you again.
Bitch. It's a D6, isn't it? Or is it a D20?
It's a D6 for initiative, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So 17.
Okay, his 20 still beats you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was going to beat you because he beat you last time when you rolled the same thing and he got a 6. So
yeah.
There's no way you
Just
could
out of curiosity, when you use magic, how do you factor the initiative in on that? Casting time, 1 action.
I tell you what, while I'm reading up on his combat special ability, since you've got a rulebook there,
why
don't you look it up?
Yeah, sorry, no, I wasn't sure if this was something
I think it's just probably just normal initiative, but it might have a modifier, I don't know. If it's 1 action, though, you can certainly cast it during a round of combat. I think it's just going to be on your initiative.
Magic. Because I think I'm going to give this guy a bad day.
Okay, so stepping in, somewhat unhappy about your having hit him on the hand with a stick, he jabs towards you with his other hand, clearly favouring the one that you have already damaged. But you realise at the last second that no, he isn't. He's feinting with his other hand, and the right hand is swinging towards your stomach. You have got a -2 penalty on your defence against this attack because of his feint, but he suffers a -1 penalty on his attack.
Right, so what is my dodge number?
Your
Do I have a dodge
is
skill?
yeah, right. On the looking at page 3 of your character sheet, which is where the combat stuff is,
Yeah.
above your stats, you will see you have life points, spirit, toughness, dodge, initiative, and move listed.
Oh,
there.
yes. Okay,
That's
I'm
a good
better
point.
off parrying.
Toughness. What's his toughness? He actually took less damage than I thought he did when you hit him because he has toughness.
Oh.
I mean, everybody has toughness, but
Yeah, I've got toughness 1. Woo.
yeah, he's tougher than you.
So he's tougher than me, he's faster than me, he's better than me, he can fight better than me. I'm going to die horribly.
You've got a stick and a sword and several spells. He's got a fist.
Well, yeah.
I do not think that putting an unarmed man against a player character is usually considered to be unfairly disadvantaging them in their first fight. Most people would probably support me in that one. So, yeah, his attack, including the fact that he's fainting, is 13. And he is going to hit unless you successfully dodge or parry, but you have a -2 to whichever you are doing.
I'm going to parry because
he
that
actually
gives me an 8 as opposed to a
his
4.
attack actually was not 13. His attack was actually 11 because he now has a -2 penalty because he's using a short reach weapon against a medium reach weapon. And again, he's going to be stepping in while doing this. But as I did it with you, it's the same with him. He hasn't closed until after the attack. So, therefore, he's got a -2 on this attack, but then he's imposing a -2 on yours as well. And his entire fight is probably going to take place moving back and forth with someone having a -2, or everyone having a -2 on all their attacks.
Okay, so that gives me a total of 8 to my parry, doesn't it? Because we worked out it was 10 with the bonus. So -2 is going to be...
that means you're looking at an 8 parry if you want to parry, yeah.
So
or 4
basically...
if you want to dodge, so parrying is your wiser move.
Yes. So basically, I am right down to the normal parry for a long staff. Right, okay. Okay. Sorry, 2. So that was a little spontaneous celebration there.
Okay, well, roll damage. Because you just parried his fist again.
Yes, same fist. Poor sod.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. 8.
Oh, did you roll well that time? 8, so that's
I rolled
4
maximum.
less his toughness.
Ow. Ow. Crack against the knuckles. Yep.
Well, no, it's going to be an attack against. It's going to be a crack against the forearm, probably. That's what he's done.
It's more likely.
He's jabbed with the left.
Yep.
And then as he hoped you were worrying about that, he's stepping in with a right to the gut. And what you've done, having tried to clonk him on the head with that end, is just swing the whole stick sideways, basically, or bring the end up, and smacked his forearm to knock his arm aside.
Yeah, that's no fun. That's
and
really no fun.
And he has definitely gone owl from that.
So, casting time, 1 action.
Right. So.
Blinding Flash.
Oh, that
spell confuses and overwhelms the target's senses, mainly sight, so the target has trouble perceiving its surroundings. The check is Courage, Intuition, and Charisma modified by Spirit, so I'm not quite 100% sure on how that's going to work. The target suffers 1 level of the coordination of the condition Confusion.
Okay, yeah, let's look at how magic is cast then. Right, so spells. Step 1, determine target. That'll be him.
That'll be him, yeah.
Yeah. Is the target within range? Yes, I think he is.
Yes, definitely.
Step 2, choose spell modifications. Well, you're not using any spell modifications in this instance. It's the first time we've cast a spell and you're just casting it, aren't you? Yeah.
I'm just casting it, yeah.
Right. perform the casting. Spellcaster performs the necessary gestures and incantations with the appropriate number of actions. Just the one.
Yeah.
Make the skill check to see if the casting succeeds.
That'll be the tricky bit. Right. So courage, intelligence, and charisma.
Right. Let's see.
What does this modified by spirit?
In some cases, you apply the target's spirit or toughness as a penalty, such as when you want to control a creature's mind or transform its body. So, in this case, you did say it was modified by spirit, didn't you?
Yes.
So, he has got a spirit of 2, so you are essentially at -2 on each of your attribute rolls.
Okay. So, I need to do courage, intelligence, and charisma. Or courage, intuition, and charisma, even.
Yep.
Yes. So, I can almost get my dice the right colour.
And there are botch tables for magic. So, feel free to roll a double 1 if you want to.
Bite me, fanboy. Okay, so courage is the red, and I need 9 or less. And 9 will do it. Intuition is green, I need 10 or less. And 9 will do it. Okay, I can cope with Attack of the Clones. And charisma, I believe I said, wasn't it?
Yeah. Remember that this time, of course, you have got skill levels that you can use.
Yes.
So.
And they modify the die.
Effectively, you knock off you spend however many skill points to reduce the number down to what you needed to roll. If you don't have enough, then you still fail.
Yeah. Right, so that's an 11, so I need to spend a skill rank.
Just the one?
Just the one.
So how many have you got left after that?
On skill ranks, I am looking, trust me. Blinding Flash, I've got 5 left.
5 left, that puts you to quality level 2. Don't know if it makes a difference in this instance, but this is the kind of thing that is the first time we've done a skill check that has actually succeeded.
The duration is quality level in combat rounds.
Right, okay, so this will last for 2 rounds then, because you've got a quality level 2 on your casting.
Yep, so the default is 1 round, so I got quality level 2, therefore he's... Basically, I've just let off a camera flash directly in his eyes.
Yeah, so you have presumably blinded him for 2 rounds. Blinded and suffers 1 level of the condition confusion.
Yes.
For, 2 rounds. So, picking up my useful little card with confusion written on it.
Excellent.
I see that 1 level of confusion makes him mildly confused and -1 on all checks. However, putting those cards to one side for a moment and picking up the card with the blind state on it. A blind person cannot see. Thank you for telling us. However well blind characters orient depends on their other senses. Even the simplest actions might require a skill check on perception. Some skills are impossible for blind heroes to use, while other skills suffer large penalties. So on the back, we've got some bullet points. All close combat attacks are made at half the normal attack value. Ranged combat becomes a game of pure chance, requiring a roll of 1 on a d20 to hit. So a blind character always just hits on a 1. Parries are as difficult to perform as ranged attacks, also requiring a roll of 1 on a d20.
I don't want to worry you, but the whole blindfolded fighter thing is a thing.
That would be a special ability.
That would be a special ability you've learned to work.
You'd buy that ability, which would negate that effect or modify that effect.
Okay, I can cope with that. Cause
dodging an incoming ranged attack is impossible while blind. Blind characters must touch opponents in order to affect them with spells or liturgical chants.
That makes sense.
These cards are really useful.
Yeah.
I'm glad I bought them.
Okay.
So,
that was my action.
He goes.
Initiative.
Becoming blinded, and he probably rolls initiative.
Come on, don't let me down. Right. Following up with another 17.
Okay, unfortunately he got a 19.
Oh, come on!
Before you can respond, he takes his action and starts not moving the quickest you've ever seen anyone move, away from you, waving his arms around and sort of staggering towards the other side of the street. clearly attempting to flee, but having to make a roll to do so because he can't see.
Yep.
I'm going to call this an agility check not to topple over.
And of course, this is very different to somebody who actually is blind, who has got used
because he has no experience with this
He's
at all.
got no experience with this.
It's an agility check at -1, of course, because he's also confused.
So tempted to just leave him to it.
So that puts him. He needs 12 or less to not topple over, and I'm going to say he's moving half of his movement rate, so he's only moving 4 yards anyway. And he rolls a 19. So after about 3 yards, he falls flat on his face.
Right.
So let me just check falling damage.
Yeah, look
Pretty
at
sure I've
spark
got
out.
falling damage on one of these cards.
Yeah.
Falling damage. Right, so we will call this... well, really, we should call this hard ground, because it's probably a cobblestone street.
It is, yeah. Oh, that's going to hurt.
And it's a d6 for each yard a character falls. So let's call him one... I mean, he's going to be more than 1 yard tall, but he's not going to be 2 yards tall. So let's call him 1d6 damage. No +1 for the fact that he's falling onto stone.
Yeah.
Normally he would get a body control jumping check to try and minimise the damage from this fall. I don't think I'm going to allow him. Actually, no, what the hell? I will do, because he knows he's falling. All he's got to do is put his hands out in front of him. He doesn't have to do anything significant, does he?
But does he know where in front of him is?
Yes, it's the area that isn't behind him. So... this is a body control check. He has 7 ranks in body control.
Oh, bloody hell.
Does also have a -1 for being confused. Could you, because you've got a character sheet open in front of you and I'm on a different page at the moment, let me know the 3 attributes for body control?
Courage. Hang on. She says, not being on the right list. Body control is agility, constitution.
Okay. What colours are those?
Which are blue, white.
Blue, white. Okie dokie. I will, in this instance, because I've only got 1 blue die, I will roll blue, black, white. Okay.
Black and blue, that's appropriate.
Yep, that's what I thought. And he made both his agility checks. He weaves, he puts his arms out in front of him, he looks like he's going to do really well, and then he gets an 18 on the 3rd die and lands nose first.
Oh, that's nasty.
And takes 4 points of damage minus his toughness from hitting the ground.
Okay.
Oof is approximately the noise that he makes.
Yes. Oof,
what's your action this round?
I'm torn, you see, between delivering a bit of a knockout blow since he's down, or just leaving him to it. And
well, I'm going to rule. I'm going to rule that you are aware of how well you've cast the spell, and that therefore you know you've probably got about, I think it's a 10-second combo round, but 2 rounds worth of this before he recovers.
Okay, yeah, he got vicious. He was kicking that guy. I suspect the Watcher are going to want to have words with him, if nothing else. So yeah, I'm going to use my free movement.
Yeah, moving is part of your action.
Yeah, in order to approach him sufficiently to deliver what I hope to be a knockout blow to the back of his head.
Okay. Now, your problem here
is this doesn't do knockouts.
Is well, no, I'm thinking more in terms of with the way I've been interpreting these action rules previously. You've been moving and performing an action where the action has been part of your movement. In this case, it kind of looks like moving is going to be your action to catch up to him, and then
Okay, well, I've got 2
But
rounds of his
that
confusion.
said, he's only moved a couple of yards before he fell over.
Yeah.
Because he was moving slowly anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this as you can close and attack, but again the attack's really going to be before the close.
Right.
And therefore I'm going to treat this as long range
Okay.
with your medium weapon, which, surprise, surprise, is -2 to hit.
Okay.
But then you'll be right on top of him and able to do whatever the heck you want next round while he's still blinded and
Right.
confused.
So my attack is
Anybody
9.
interested? I'm being told that Overcooked is now available for free on the Epic Store.
Yes.
The wonders of pop-ups.
Yes. I did wonder why a dog suddenly appeared.
Yeah, that'd be why.
Right. So that's 9 I need. I make it because my base attack is 11.
Yes, so that would be 9. And he's not blocking. He's not doing
No,
any kind
oddly
of
enough.
defense against this. If you hit, you hit.
Yes.
In fact,
4.
there would be modifiers to this, so you should be able to hit more easily.
I have hit him.
You've hit anyway, but I will just quickly point out to you that because he is effectively counted as motionless, you get +2 to hit.
So that negates the -2.
Which would negate the -2. Yep.
Prone?
Prone isn't in that list, but prone is in these states, so it might say on the prone state that there is some modifier. Prone state. As long as this state persists, prone characters have move 1 and suffer penalties of -4 to attack and -2 to defense. So no, you don't get a bonus to hit him because he's prone, but you do. He does get a penalty to defend because he's prone.
Right.
That kind of makes sense. It should really be one or the other. Both would be excessive, and the fact
Yeah.
that he's effectively motionless is still giving you that bonus. So.
Okay, that's fine.
And you've clonked him one. So, would you
I
care
have.
to roll damage that for the first time in this fight is not being halved?
Yay! Yes, I bloody would. 8.
8. Okay. He cries out rather loudly as you clonk him on the back of the head with your stick.
Don't underestimate a stick.
No, absolutely not underestimating a stick. Because that has indeed now rendered him with a level of pain. So he's now blind, confused, and in pain. I think if you were looking for a karmic response to him kicking that guy over by the cart, you've got it.
Yes.
It's going quite well on that front.
Yes.
Okay, so initiative. Technically,
Right.
he is rolling initiative. I don't know whether I'm supposed to, but I'm going to apply his confusion penalty to his initiative.
You might want to check your audio driver.
Yeah,
Yeah, you suddenly Daleked.
I think
Just
that
a
was
little
Discord
bit.
because I'm sounding fine at this end.
Okay. It was an underwater Dalek, but it was slightly Dalek-y. Fuck's sake. So the underwater Dalek sounds
It's
fins from your end.
definitely underwater because it sounds like it's got fins from his end. Thank you, Dad.
14.
Okay. Even with the penalty, he actually got 15 initiative. So
If he's doing anything more than bleeding and squealing and
what he's doing is
away.
trying to crawl away from you with a
Yes.
move speed of 1. So,
That's fine.
despite your having closed, the fact that he's been initiative means that once again you're going to be at -1, -2 to hit him because you're effectively at long range.
Yeah.
He's crawling as fast as he can possibly crawl.
Yes.
Fortunately for him,
actually-
he's now not in danger of falling over because he's on the ground.
I'm actually at this stage not intending to hit him this round.
Okay, what are you going to do instead?
I am going to tell him quite stridently to get the hell out of here now.
I'm going!
Good. And then I'm heading over to the person he was assaulting.
Okay. Right. Yeah, curled on the ground.
I am not turning my back on the fleeing man. Did not come down in last range.
You're not turning your back on the man you know is about to get his eyesight back, aren't you?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay,
that works.
Yes. So I'll be round the other side of the body of the guy he was kicking.
Okay, yeah, you take a few long strides in that direction, carefully watching him as you do so, as he continues to crawl away.
Yeah.
The fellow on the floor, who is only just now beginning to raise his head a bit because he hasn't been kicked for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Again, he's wearing sort of peasant type garb. Rough, homespun, but well maintained and not as clean as it could have been.
Okay.
Because he's lying on the floor being kicked. But it looks like he takes a normal, at least, level of interest in his appearance.
Right.
He's probably in his 30s, you would guess. And slightly haggard looking. He looks like he's had a moderately hard life. Not a really hard life. But
okay.
This looks like a man who's worked for his living since he was quite young.
Okay.
And he's just raising his head and shyly looking out to see whether he's going to get kicked again as you loom over him.
I am going down on one knee next to him. Are you okay?
Not really.
Right. Can I help you get home?
About this point, the other fella is pulling himself back up to his feet, having clearly regained his eyesight, and is sort of stopped for a moment, turned half away from you, half towards you, glaring in your direction, looking like he's trying to make a decision.
I am going to very much meet his eyes. And if I can do the one eyebrow thing, I will.
Okay, I'm going to class that as an intimidation roll again, but this time I'm going to give you a bonus. Because you blinded him and he's in pain. I'm going to call this an easy check, so you've got +1 on each of your attributes for purposes of this check.
Okay, and I keep going in the wrong direction for skill checks. Intimidation is
what I really
courage,
need
intuition,
when
and
running
charisma.
this game is I'm really going to need a copy of the character sheet or something in front of me, so I've got the skill list and I know what attributes everything is on.
Okay.
They're not on the GM screen. It's a nice GM screen, and it's got a lot of useful stuff on it, but it doesn't have that.
What's my penalty for the untrained?
There is no penalty, you just don't have any skill points that you can use if you fail the roll. And also, as a result, you can't get more than a quality level 1 because you need skill points remaining for higher quality levels.
So actually made it without the bonus on the courage.
Cool.
Intuition, I rolled a 1.
Ooh.
And charisma, I rolled a 1.
Double 1.
Hang on.
Critical success.
I'd just like to point out I'm taking a photo of this without going anywhere near my character, dice again.
By random chance, I have just found the page in the rulebook that has the complete skills list on it with all of the needed checks, so I'm marking that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm slightly annoyed. I found the page in the rulebook with the spells in a table form, which is great. Unfortunately, it's in landscape tables, so they're 90 degrees.
Yeah, they're not as useful in the PDF, are they? What I might do is actually chop that page out of the PDF, rotate it, and put it into Fantasy Grounds as an image.
Yeah.
So that you can see it. Yeah, we've got it as a resource there.
Yeah.
Right, so critical success.
I did.
The skill description will give me an idea of what kind of things you would get on a critical success. I mean, I've been GMing for 30 years. I've got a few ideas, but let's see what the game tells me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
The target is utterly intimidated and won't act against the character for the foreseeable future.
Excellent. I've scared off a thug.
Make me a perception check.
Okay. I think I actually took perception. Please tell me I took perception. I took perception. Thank God for that.
Yeah, that's sagacity, intuition.
Okay. So, oh God, sagacity. I'm good at.
Yeah, you are. I know. I think you were a mage or something.
Sagacity. Oh, made it by 10. Intuition. Made it by 9. And then the 1. So, made it by lots.
Okay, so what's that giving you left in terms of skill points?
That's without spending any skill points, so that gives me still 2.
Okay, so 2 is
skill ranks.
Yeah, that's still only going to be quality level 1 then.
Yeah.
In no way suggesting you should do so in this instance.
Right.
But this seems a good time to point out that one of the uses for your 3 fate points is that on a successful check, you can spend a fate point to increase its quality level by 1. So for a skill like this, where you don't have enough skill points to get a second quality level, you can still achieve a better success with a fate point if you want to. In this instance, it's not worth doing, so don't do it now. There's nothing more I can tell you beyond what I'm about to.
No, that's fair enough.
That's one of the things you can do with fate points. Another thing you can do with fate points is re-roll any number of your dice.
Gotcha.
You can also use a fate point to gain initiative for a round, irrespective of the dice.
Right.
To gain a +4 bonus on all defences till the end of the round, or to ignore any conditions affecting you until the end of the round.
Yeah.
So those are the things you can use fate points for. And you have 3 fate points. I'd need to look up the rules to get the details of it, but this is not a finite resource fate point. You have 3 fate points. The ones that you have used will restore.
Right.
At whatever rate they are restored, but they do come back to you. It's not when I've spent those 3 fate points, they're gone forever. It's 3 fate points is your level that you're restoring to.
I have just sent you, by the way, that photo of the crit success because I had to.
Is that what that ting was?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Just before he turns and runs away, you hear the faint sound of a trickle of water and realise that not only have you successfully intimidated this thug, but he's wet himself and is running off into the night to change his trousers.
Oh, now I feel awful. Oh, I'm horrible. We kind of deserved it.
From your feet, the rather put-upon voice that you have already heard once says, "Thank you, mistress. Thank you."
Can I get you home?
Home's a long way from here. I don't need to be going home. I need to be going... I was coming to a merchant. My master sent me to deliver goods to a merchant in the city. Only I was robbed. They took everything. They took all the sacks of grain. They even took my horse. But the thing that worries me, because I don't know what I can do about that, is my master, he gave me a chest. He hid it among the sacks of grain. Said I was to deliver it with the grain to this merchant. And it was these robbers' lucky day, I suppose. They didn't just get the grain, but they found the chest. They took the chest.
And I've just intimidated away my only lead. Ah, right. How big a chest are we talking about?
He indicates about a little under 2 foot, perhaps.
Right.
I have no idea what was in it, but it must be valuable, or he wouldn't have hidden it the way he did.
This is true. I'm going to help him up, basically brush him off. See if I have a first
He
aid
is
skill, which I don't think I
Bruised
do.
and battered and deeply unhappy.
Yeah,
Suffering from 3 levels of pain.
but not dead, so that's a plus.
But he's not dead.
I don't think I have any spells that can help physical injuries.
No, I don't think you do.
I've got armor skin.
Yes, you've got a spell that would have helped him before he got the physical injuries.
Yeah. Just looking up Psychostabilis. No, okay. That's if somebody was trying to do things to him. Right. Okay. Let me get you either to an inn or to where you're going, and then we can have a talk about these thieves, because I might be able to help you out.
What am I going to do about my cart?
Okay. How big a cart are we talking here?
It's a fairly sort of standard size farm type cart.
So is it unladen now as it is? Because
It's
of course
now
it's
unladen,
yeah. Is it enough light enough that I could basically push/pull it?
Possibly. I mean, first off, it's on its side. You'd need to get it back on its wheels, which would be a feat of strength roll with a penalty, because it is quite heavy.
Yeah. I'm not
I
sure.
would say it's
I went and minimised the strongest. So.
Yeah, I would say it's a difficult check, so you'd be rolling at your feat of strength -1 on the attributes.
Right.
Feat of strength, I'm guessing, uses strength primarily. Let's have a look. Feat of strength is Constitution, Strength.
Oh, why do you hate me so? Well, my constitution's not bad. Everything else, yeah, we don't talk about that.
Oh. As it becomes obvious that you're going to try and light the cart,
okay,
the injured
that's a yes.
farmer comes over and tries to help you. So
it's 2 successes so far.
That's bloody hell.
Yes. 6, 5, 8.
So basically, yeah, he comes over to try and help you. So rather creakily bends down, and as he's putting his hands underneath to help lift the cart, it just goes.
Yeah.
And he's just standing there going, oh.
Principles of leverage. Once you've learned to apply them in one direction, then frankly you're just looking at different balances.
I don't know what any of that means.
Right. Well, that's actually in year 2 of the academy, but you don't need to know about that. If you learn, well, I figure, if you learn point of balance, you learn point of balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you figure out tipping points for something, it's just a matter of extrapolation. Not looking for any bonuses or anything, it's just that's justification for a decent skill check. Right.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, you've got the cart back on its wheels.
Right.
And it's awkward, but between the two of you, you can push the cart, because he's not on death's door or anything. I mean, he is badly beaten, and he has very few life points left. But he's not completely out of it.
No. No, if there were any other option, I'd have put him in the cart, but we can't do anything with that.
Yeah. At his current level of pain, he's got -3 on all his checks and -3 to his move.
Okay. I suspect I'm probably pulling the traces
very slowly, and he's shoving from behind and not helping that much, but you are getting it moving.
Yeah.
And he's
I'll maintain his dignity by allowing him to think he's helping.
Yeah, he's calling out directions to you as you go.
That's handy, because I need to know where I'm going.
You move into a much nicer area of town a few streets away. The area you were passing through, A, is on the edge of the Demon Fallows, and therefore not obviously going to be a valuable area. And B... What? Have you lost me?
You know you were doubling up, which usually indicates that something's going pear-shaped at your end.
Well, my speakers are all turned off.
Now that's better.
Weird. Don't know what that was.
No, it was just very strange. Possibly just your
Yeah.
computer was doing things.
Yeah, possibly. So, yeah, you were coming back into town through a particularly down market area, right on the edge of the Demon Fallows, where nobody really wants to be, if they can afford to be anywhere else. But
Right.
a few streets away, you're moving into a much nicer area. Not a really wealthy area, but just a better one. And he guides you towards a largish building to one side, which looks less like a home than perhaps offices of some kind.
Okay.
And once you get there, staggers out from behind the cart and knocks on the front door.
Okay. I will flank him. I want to have a chat with this person. I want to know what they were expecting.
Okay, the door is opened by a youngish, reasonably well-dressed, middle-class, if such a thing existed in a fantasy medieval realm, individual. Very much an urban gent from the way he's dressed.
Mm-hmm.
By the 12 gods, Jariah, what's happened to you? He was beaten. Well, obviously, but who by? What?
Can I bring this gentleman in? He was being set upon by an unpleasant thug.
Oh, of course, yes. Come in. He will aid him in and push him towards a not massively comfortable looking, but still better than standing sort of bench seat with a thin cushion on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you are?
My name is Yela.
Timmy.
I was returning home and came across a rather unpleasant-looking gentleman who appeared to be trying to kick this man
Jariah.
into his next incarnation.
By the gods, it was lucky you came along.
Mm.
Jariah, what of the goods? All gone.
Right. Your goods. Do you have any idea who might want to steal them?
Not my goods. My employer's goods. Master Fitzel.
Right.
He obviously isn't here at this time of day.
My God, the
He
cart's
might have a
speed.
motorbike. He did say there was a special consignment coming. Yes, a chest. I was to remove it from the cart as soon as possible, and then put the cart into the grain into the warehouse as normal. This is not good.
Right. Well, I dislike people setting upon uneven fights. I really do. So I would be more than happy to introduce these thieves to the error of their ways.
Well, that would be wonderful. If you could recover the chest, Master Fitzel will no doubt be very grateful.
Right. Unfortunately, only one lone scumbag was remaining when I arrived on the scene. I find it highly unlikely that this was a random robbery overall. Do you happen to know who might want the goods that were stolen? Specifically, who might be interested in that chest?
I do not even know what the chest contained. I was not informed, but robbery is not so very uncommon. Jariah, did Baboet not send anyone else with you? Were you alone? I was.
That's rather foolish for shipping something valuable, surely.
Yes, it is indeed.
So,
Master Fitzel deals with a lot of people, and some of them are perhaps, no offence to to you or your master, Jariah, but some of them are perhaps a little bit more quotes pinching than many.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that Master Babarit has been attempting to save on the cost of a guard and hoping that one lone grain wagon would not attract any attention.
Well, that was a false economy.
It was indeed.
Right.
And it will have gone badly for him because, indeed, my employer will not pay him for the goods if the goods have not been delivered, which they have not.
So it's in everybody's best interest to recover this.
Yes, indeed.
Well, unfortunately, the remaining attacker fled. Possibly an oversight on my part. But I thought seeing to your man was probably a higher priority.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Right.
Though my master may feel otherwise.
Yes. Jariah. By the way, I think you should get him something to drink. I think that would be a good move because he's clearly had a shock.
Yes, of course. He steps through a door, which he leaves open behind him, and you can see at this angle, you can just see through it into what is clearly an office. And he takes a carafe out of a small side cabinet and comes out pouring a glass of wine.
Okay. I'm going to, once Sir Jariah's got outside of some of that, I am going to start asking him, so, aside from the gentleman who was giving you a kicking when I arrived, do you remember what any of the others looked like? Were there any distinguishing characteristics? Unusual scars, coloration, anything?
I mean, they all looked a lot like the fella that was kicking me, but there was this one that I did notice. Yeah, he had a tattoo.
Really?
On the left side of his face. It looked like a flaming star.
Okay.
You know, a shooting star or something.
Right.
He did seem to be given the orders as well.
Okay. Notes, okay? Don't knock it.
Notes are always good.
They are, especially when the GM never forgets what's going on. Not saying that's ever happened. Okay, so flaming star tattoo. Does that ring any bells in the nature of symbology locally?
You can make me a myths and legends roll if you want to see.
Did I actually take myths and legends? I think I did. Yes. Oh my god. Yes, I did.
You're
Yay.
good at myths and legends because it's a big part of your business, really, as
character
a
concept,
mage.
yes. So that is really small print. So that's sagacity, and intuition. Bloody hell. Okay, no kidding.
Yes, sagacity, intuition, indeed. You should be good at that.
Yeah. So that's a success, oddly enough. A success, but only normal ones. And intuition. I should have just put everything into intuition because it's getting used for everything. Yes. And I've got 3 skill ranks.
So, quality level 1. Okay. You don't know of anything that might specifically apply.
Right.
But certainly the idea of comets or shooting stars are quite common in various legends and superstitions.
Superstition, I think, here.
Often portrayed as an indicator of doom of some kind, an ill omen.
Oh,
So
good.
it's quite possible that this gentleman with the tattoo has got this symbol of ill omen tattooed on his face as a way of trying to intimidate the people around him. A fantasy equivalent of having a swastika tattooed on your forehead.
Okay. Bug Doomface. That's how he will now be known as Doomface.
Bug Doomface, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Doomy McDoomface.
Doomy McDoomface. Right. It seems likely that they would be residents of the area you were robbed, if it was just a random attack. So, I. It's been rather a long day. I'm possibly thinking that I'm unlikely to find anything tonight, though I could visit some of the local drinking establishments, but they might be celebrating their newfound wealth.
I have no doubt that they will seek to open the chest.
Just watch for the magical explosion somewhere.
It obviously would be locked, but the sooner it can be recovered, the less likely they are to open it and retrieve whatever is inside. I will immediately send word to my employer so that he can take steps. But any information that you can give us, any help that you can be before that point, will obviously be useful and will no doubt be rewarded.
And I've had such a long walk today anyway. Okay. Let's see what I can do. Unfortunately, I'm really not the right character with knowledge of really dodgy shit. Because where is Streetwise? Oh, look at the skills I don't have.
Is sagacity, intuition, and charisma. However, so it's not things
However,
you're going
I
to
could
be bad
have a
at
punt.
a base level.
No. Okay. Where would I go if I were in possession of loot and looking to get into it?
Now, possibly a blacksmith's or somewhere with tools.
Somewhere with
They'll
tools
want
would
to
be
either
appropriate.
smash the lock or break open the whole chest.
Yes. Let's hope that smashing the lock will be their preference. It's all going to get terribly messy otherwise. You wouldn't want to damage what was inside.
These do not sound like the sort of people who would be able to open the lock more subtly.
No, they didn't really strike me as picklocks. Let's just put it that way. Snatch and grab and carry on kicking. Did the chap say why
Carry on kicking.
carried
One
on
of the better
kicking
skills.
you? Yeah.
I rather got the impression he just was enjoying it.
I should have hit him harder. Right.
Not going to argue with that.
No. On the other hand, he did wet himself on the way. So if that makes you feel any better. Right.
Not much, to be honest.
No.
This is helping.
That's helping, yeah. Yes. I suppose I can rely upon you to take good care of Jariah this evening.
Of course, of course.
Good. I'm going to take a little stroll and see what I can come up with. And see whether I can encourage some of the locals to point me in the right direction. Which, unfortunately, intimidate would be extremely useful, but equally unfortunately, oh well. So we'll just have to go with persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion's good.
Yep. So,
Good afternoon, Jake.
I'm going to gird my loins, head out again.
Mm-hmm.
I am walking with my staff. I'm not reslinging it.
Okay.
Because I suspect I'm going to need it. I mean, my sword would probably be more intimidating, but I'm less likely to get people screaming and running if I wander up to them with a drawn
Yeah,
stick.
you might attract attention if you walk around with a sword in your hand.
Yes. And besides, I like the idea of her basically specialising with stick. I mean, she's
Yeah.
equally skilled with both, but I quite
Yes,
like
at the
the idea.
moment you are equally skilled, but
Yeah.
you can certainly focus on the stick quite happily should you wish to. Yes.
Mm. Especially since I've went to all the trouble of doing the whole Mjolnir thing.
Yes, you can do the Mjolnir thing. She's kind of cool.
Mm.
You'd love this stick, Jick. You'd absolutely love it. Yeah, she can summon it back to her hand.
Yes,
On a whim.
travelling through all intervening obstacles.
Neglected to mention at the time, by the way. Did you make a note of the arcane energy that you spent?
I did. I've got an
to cast
arcane
that
energy
spell?
note. I don't know if I have to share them with you. Oh, hang on. Let me put them as public, because then logically you'll be able to see them. Although GM, I think, can see
I believe
anyway.
as the GM I can see everybody's notes anyway.
Yeah, I have a clues
Arcane
file
energy,
and I have
blinding flash
an
4. Yeah.
Yeah. So I figured that was sensible. I can burn it, Jick. I've got fire spells. Right, I am going to slightly grumpily head out back to the crappy section of town.
Just adding to your notes.
Okay. For some reason, it didn't keep the doom face. Which I had added. It's a bit weird, really. So yes, I am marching back with all of the inherent self-confidence that the personality flaw arrogance can give.
Right, there we go. Yeah, I've added those extra bits of information from that conversation into there for you.
Thank you. Very helpful. When these people are found dead in the morning, this will be relevant. Oh boy.
So headed back to that part of town in search of a tavern or similar.
Yeah, I think that's my best bet, is
you?
look for a nice low-grade tavern.
Right, if I can avoid poking my eye out with the book.
That would be appreciated.
Let's randomise a nice low-grade tavern, just because I've got charts and I love to roll on charts. So,
I have a lot of
first
dice
off,
I like to roll.
the name.
Okay.
So, it is the Prancing Traveller.
Okay. Oh, hello, you've frozen. Oh, no, you're just not moving.
No, I'm just writing things down. Okay, so yes, you find a somewhat shoddy looking establishment with a badly painted sign out of the front, which shows a fellow with the traditional stick with red spotted handkerchief tied on the end, seemingly dancing along the road.
Okay.
It is a. I'm not going to roll for this. It's just going to be a rather shoddy wooden building.
Okay.
And it is going to be, I think, we'll go with quality level 2, a dirty dive.
Excellent. Dirty dives done dirty.
Love these tables. I live for this stuff. I really do.
You're just a table fanatic.
Yep. What I will do, though, is I will roll for its price level.
Okay.
I like the way this works. It's got a table that rolls for the level of quality of the establishment, and then for the price based on a modifier of between plus and minus 2 levels of what it actually is.
Okay.
So you could have a dirty dive that charges as if it's a middle class inn, or you could have a middle class inn that charges as if it's a dirty dive. It's a nice way of going about things.
Okay.
In this case, it charges as a dirty dive. However.
As a dirty dive. Okay.
Yes, indeed. So, stepping inside,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that there are a half a dozen tables.
Mm-hmm.
And enough seats for little under 24 people, maybe.
Okay. How many people are actually in?
Right.
It's
Now,
just after
we
nightfall.
haven't got to number of patrons yet. I'll roll that in a second.
Oh, okay.
I'll skip the
really?
accommodation. It doesn't have any. We're going to call it a tavern.
Okay.
So number of patrons does indeed come next.
Mm-hmm.
And it is... Right, it's currently night. So... No, we'll call it evening because it wasn't that late. It was only
No,
twilight
it
when you
wasn't.
were heading
Night
in.
was
It
only
just,
for
it was
the
just
sun
quite
was
a
only
dark
going.
evening, wasn't it? So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
call it evening. So in that case, yeah, we are moderately frequented at this time. So we'll say it's about half full. Quite a lot of people sitting around here.
Okay.
Rather surprisingly, everybody in here looks actually quite well maintained. They're not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not. It from its clientele, it is not as much of a dive as it appears to be from
Yeah.
the place's quality itself.
Okay.
They look like quite respectable poor people rather than disrespectable,
Right.
dishonest, nasty people who like to beat up carters and steal their chests.
Yes. However, this might be the sort of person who might want to shop a carter as somebody who would rob a carter.
Oh my god, why did I randomly roll for the innkeeper?
Oh no.
Right, okay.
Well, why are you bothering to roll? They're going to be either West Country or Yorkshire.
Well, I may not do the voice.
Uh-huh.
I may not be going to do the voice.
Why?
A large gentleman is standing
Mm-hmm.
behind the bar.
Okay.
Arraying some freshly cleaned leather mugs on the shelf behind. And he turns as he hears the door closing behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And raises one meaty hand in greeting,
Mm-hmm.
calling out in a surprising falsetto.
What?
Yeah, that's what I rolled. Bulky innkeeper with a high falsetto voice. I may not do the voice. I'm not good at falsetto.
An unfortunate encounter with a couple of bricks in his youth?
Possibly.
Maybe he once had an excellent singing voice. When they say dark fantasy, they ain't kidding. No,
No, I'm
don't.
not doing
No,
it.
really
I'm not
don't.
doing it.
Really, no.
No, not doing the voice.
No. Just, bring it up a half a notch from your standards somewhere around your boots.
No, the problem with that is it'll just sound like he's a woman because that's how I do all of them.
Fair enough. At least you don't try and do the girly falsetto for women.
No, that's just silly.
Yes, and also you know me. Right. Evening, innkeep. Mug of decent beer? She isn't actually posh. For all she has the arrogance, she isn't actually posh. And the Gareth Academy is basically a martial one.
Yeah.
So I think she's got that slight soldier mentality.
Ah, fair enough. It's a bit like it's the old. She's been to Sandhurst, so she talks like that because that's what they make you talk like at Sandhurst thing, is it?
Yes. Yes, to a certain extent. Yes, she is just normal middle class herself. I didn't play with her social status at all.
Yeah. one, one, one mug of ale coming up.
Thanks.
This is a really, really cool book, by the way. This one,
Yeah.
the Inns and Taverns. This comes with the GM screen. Most games I've found tend to give you, if they give you something with the GM screen, and some of them don't. It always used to be that you got a scenario with the GM screen, and then more recently they give you better quality GM screens, up the price, and then mysteriously remove the booklet of extra stuff that you used to get with it. But this one, good quality GM screen, and this Inns and Taverns book, which has the tables for randomly generating an inn or tavern. It's got the full rules for alcohol, advanced rules for alcohol are in here, including drinking games. There is a selection of Aventurian drinking games. You could play Baptism by Fire, or Journey to Prem if you want, or Emperor Valpo's Rapture.
Okay.
Alcohol is a poison. It's a level 4 ingestion poison, resisted
yes.
by toughness. Effect depends on the kind of alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got both simple and advanced rules for alcohol, and indeed new advantages. You can take the alcohol tolerance special ability, or the alcohol intolerance disadvantage. And then at the back, it's got after the drinking games and alcohol rules, it's got just some tavern games. So rules for common games in the setting and how you would handle them within the game. So that's
does this mean
cool.
you've got like bar billiards?
Yeah, sort of thing. There's 21 Kreuzers, ship captain and crew.
Oh my god, that crops up everywhere.
Yeah, all kinds of interesting things. Red and White Camels, a strategy game from the lands of the Ptolemies.
Okay.
Is the most well-known board game that becomes less commonplace the further you get from the land of the Ptolemies.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's games of skill, board games, card games, cool stuff. And then at the back, some sample, fully detailed inns with NPC staff and maps.
Yep.
So it's actually a really good. Oh yeah, and the rules for bar brawls, because you need rules for bar brawls in every game, including changes to the normal battle sequence, injury based on brawling rather than real fights.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get an abrasion or a bloody nose or a sprained hand based on these injuries, and improvised weapons from apples to frying pans to vases. It's generally quite a good little book.
Cool.
So yes, you've got your ale.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm going to basically, I'm not going to try and intimidate this guy because A, he's bigger than me, and B, I'm crap at intimidation. So persuasion is going to be my method of choice. Wouldn't happen to know. I wouldn't imagine they necessarily frequent your establishment, but you must hear things. I'm looking for, well, some ne'er-do-wells. Robbed a chap this evening, and I thought I'd go and have a word with them, explain to them the error of their ways.
That sounds dangerous.
Well, it's not how I envisioned spending my evening, but, you know, I don't like the vulnerable being picked on, and came across one chap who was giving a little old man a kicking.
Well, with that stick and that sword, you, I suppose, look like you might be the sort of person who can deal with these people.
Well, do what you can, and if you can help, then obviously you should. At least that's what they drummed into us.
We have a decent crowd here. None of our regulars would ever do anything like that.
Oh, gosh,
But
no. I can tell that.
Maybe somebody's seen something, if you want to ask around.
If you don't mind. Apparently the gang, I suppose you want to call them, was led by a gentleman with a flaming star tattooed on his cheek. So he should probably be quite distinctive.
I mean, doesn't sound like anybody I've seen, but yeah.
Hmm.
By all means, as long as you're not causing trouble, you go ahead and
No,
ask around.
absolutely. Absolutely not. Oh, just one more thing. I don't suppose there's a local blacksmith, is there?
There is, yes.
Hmm.
He'd be closed at this time of night.
Well, yeah, I have a feeling they may not be interested in opening hours.
Oh,
Uh,
he will.
Get the impression that they might want use of tools. I'm just wondering.
He'll give you directions to a blacksmith's shop a couple of streets away.
Okay, I am going to circulate around the tavern in friendly manner and with an eye on persuasion rather than deception or intimidation. I'm going to introduce myself and play up the whole looking for people who beat up a vulnerable old man angle.
Okay,
And
I'm going
see
to treat
if-
this as an asking around check, which is
Okay.
one of the uses of Streetwise.
That's a shame.
Um,
I will give it a go. Sagacity, intuition, charisma.
Although I think that's more based on the idea that Streetwise lets you know where to ask. So maybe I won't do that. Maybe I will let you use a more
Etiquette or persuasion?
etiquette or persuasion. Let me look up what they say etiquette means.
Okay.
I suspect this is going to be one of those where etiquette is courtly etiquette rather than
probably.
street etiquette. Yes, it is.
Okay, no problem then.
So, unless there is a carousing skill, which there is, let me
There
check
is.
let me check what they reckon for carousing, because that's one that I might have said was suitable for this.
Drink with me.
Now, carousing is drinking.
Okay, yeah,
Largely.
no.
Yeah, that is the don't get pissed and make a fool of yourself skill, rather than the make friends with people skill, which is the other
Yeah.
interpretation of carousing.
Well, I might buy a couple of drinks.
I suppose
as
that
I'm
explains
going
why
round.
it's in the physical, not the social skills list, thinking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is probably going to be persuasion then, isn't it? Because there's Streetwise is the only other one that would be appropriate, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be nice and let you use persuasion because you don't have Streetwise.
Persuasion can help change the target's mind permanently, not just for a short time. Okie dokie. Oh, I wonder if my oration.
Well, that if you wanted to address the entire inn at once and see whether you can stir them up and get some information out of them, that would certainly come under oration. Yeah.
Yes, okay. I'm not going
So-
to make a huge. It is your duty to
That's
tell me.
that's
But
an advantage, isn't it? What does it actually specifically
I'm
give
just
you?
heading down there. Hang on.
Is it a special ability or an advantage? It's an advantage,
Well,
isn't it?
yeah. Hang on. Special ability. It's an advantage. Natural orator or orator.
Natural orator. Okay. Hero is a good public speaker, a true inspiration, and who can motivate others. Skill checks using persuasion oration receive a bonus of 1.
Yay.
So obviously then, oration, or oratory, depending on how you
Yeah.
want to say it, but it is one of the uses, one of the applications for
Or persuasion.
persuasion.
Cool. So,
Special skills. Persuasion. Persuasion.
Courage,
Yes,
intuition,
conversation,
charisma.
debate, oration, and provocation are the uses of persuasion, the applications of persuasion without taking anything special.
Okay.
So, yeah, conversation or oration, either one, if you want to try and sway the crowd.
Yeah.
That would be oration. If you just want to move around from table to table and talk to people and see if anyone knows anything, that would be conversation.
Yeah. Let's go at conversation, actually. It's only +1, and I don't necessarily need to shout about this. So as I'm going to orbit. So we are on, what does it say? Courage, intuition, charisma. I'm getting that a lot. So courage is 11.
This is a fairly decent crowd in here, so I'm going to give you a +1 bonus.
Okay.
Because what you're doing is you're attempting to persuade them that they ought to help if they know anything, really, aren't you?
Right. That's quite nice, actually, because that means I passed instead of failing that check.
That's something that this being, they randomly rolled higher quality crowd than the dive would suggest. It's something they're more likely to want to help with.
It's your, quote, decent working poor.
Yes, it is. I still need to roll afterwards. If you can persuade them, I still need to roll to see whether or not anyone actually knows anything.
Yeah.
But you do have an easier time of convincing them that they should help.
Yeah, it's a local rather than,
Yes, it is very much a
dive
local.
bar. Okay, so I made the courage. I made the intuition quite nicely, and the charisma. I got a 1.
Okay.
So happy with that.
So yes, you wander around and you chat to people a bit, and you tell them what happened to poor old Uriah, and they're all appalled at such behaviour, and they don't know how people can live with themselves doing this sort of thing. And I was going with a D20, since that's the way everything works in this, as opposed to making an attribute check against an attribute that I just made up called "Do They Know Anything?"
Do they know anything attribute?
Yep, I rolled a 2 against their Do They Know Anything attribute. So apparently the answer is that yes, they know anything.
Okay, I can cope with that.
2 or 3 people, when you mention the tattoo, say, yeah, I've heard of him. I've seen him around. Nasty piece of work. Leads a gang of toughs. I stay away from him. I don't know his name. And then eventually you get to somebody who not only recognises the description, but can actually say that's Sagran.
Ah. Now, where would one find Sagran were I wanting to have a little chat?
Well...
And obviously I didn't hear this from you.
I don't care if it came from me or not.
No, commendable.
That guy is a nasty piece of work, Sagran. He won't bother me. Damn randomization.
You love this though. You just said you loved it.
Him and his crew. They normally drink in the Merry Pony.
The Merry Pony.
Yep.
Okay. Is that somewhere I know, or am I going to have to ask for directions?
The same chap who has told you that that's where they drink can tell you where it is.
Okay.
So if he knows they drink there, he must know where it is.
Yeah, he knows where they drink because there he doesn't go.
Yes, he used to drink in the Merry Pony until Sagran and his crew started there, and he had a bit of an altercation with them once. And he doesn't drink there anymore. Because he had to knock a couple of them down. and it could have got nasty, but that the watch intervened. So now he just doesn't go back there because he's not looking for trouble.
Okay. Okay. Right. So yes, well, there's no time like the present, I suppose. I can go and have a look at the place. See how many scumbags I'm dealing with. If it comes to it, then frankly, burning the entire tavern down is an option. It sounds like that would count as neighbourhood improvement.
Oh no, you don't want to do that. I mean, all these wooden buildings, who knows how much would go up?
Absolutely. Obviously, I'm joking. Besides, I'm not
Good.
convinced I could burn down the entire building all in one go anyway.
Couldn't need a whole one.
No.
Right, so
Right.
yes, you have got the information that Sagran drinks in the Merry Pony, and you have a clue.
I have a clue, a clue.
Yes. And at that point, I'm going to say I want some dinner.
Oh, okay.
Because it's 5:30. And
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I need to cook some dinner, and you are supposed to be streaming later on.
I am indeed streaming later
So-
on, yes.
I will give you the choice of whether we come back to this game as soon as we can schedule it and carry it on, or whether you want to carry it on during your normal Thursday night stream later on.
I think because I've only just started Face Noir, I'd like to carry on with
Yeah,
that.
that's cool with me. So yeah, we'll work out a time when we're both available to run the next
Yeah,
part of
that
this,
works.
and we will continue it later. And in the meantime, I'll get something to eat and then watch you play Face Noir.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm really enjoying this.
Thank you, people who have watched this. Both people who are here live now, thank you very much, and anybody who watches this on YouTube, because I will be topping and tailing it and then putting it up to YouTube, since it's the first time we've played Dark Eye. And I look forward to running the next session. It's taking me a little bit to get my head around how the game system works, because it's a new system, and unlike a lot of the systems that are around these days, it's not an oversimplified one. There's a lot of games out there now where everything is really easy and you just need to know, like, roll a d20, you're done, there you go, bingo, just got the entirety of D&D 5th edition. And everything beyond that is class abilities. Well, this, obviously, there are the special abilities. These are the sorts of things that, at the moment, until we learn what they do, are a little bit awkward. But the theory, of course, would be that player characters' special abilities, the players would know about those, and the GM would have read up on the ones that are relevant to the scenario in advance, or have these very handy cards with them on. The chap you fought earlier on also had the forceful blow special ability, so he could have
Glad
taken
he
a
never
penalty.
actually hit me.
Yeah, it could have taken a penalty to hit in return for a bonus to damage, but wasn't using it because he wasn't managing to hit you anyway.
That's a relief.
And he also had the grapple special ability, so potentially,
good.
if you hadn't had a stick, he could have tried to grapple and pin you or something. But I had the cards handy for those because I've got the things, so I didn't have a huge problem. I used the feint because it seemed the most logical one against somebody who keeps hitting his hand with a stick. To feint so that you maybe don't hit his hand with the stick.
Yes, I'm looking for a man with a bashed-in head and really bruised forearms.
Yeah.
How will I know I found the right gang of scumbags?
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for playing. Thank you for watching. Hopefully see you next time.
Okay.